Hi everyone, and welcome to episode number and welcome to my hairball. Oh goodness. Let's try again. Hi everyone, and welcome to episode number 135 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live, where I work, where I knit, and where I get into all kinds of other crafting shenanigans. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. If you're a new viewer, thank you so much for checking out my channel. I hope you enjoy it here. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back for another week to see what I've been up to. I appreciate everyone who spends a little bit of time watching what I have to natter about with my knitting and crochet and all that fun stuff. So happy to have you here, always. Today is Saturday, November 12th. How is it already almost halfway through November? How? Anyway, so it's the 12th of November, and it's a dreary, overcast day here. It's quite warm. It's almost 70 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's quite warm out today. But it's cloudy and overcast. We had rain pretty much all day yesterday, off and on all day yesterday. Thursday was gorgeous. Friday was rainy and not so gorgeous weather out. Today is in between. Cloudy, overcast, noisy cars outside, always. Anyway, so it's not bad out. It just looks dreary out, but temperature-wise, it's really nice. I will take this kind of weather in almost the middle of November. So I've had a busy week getting a lot of crafting done, or what it feels like was a lot of crafting done. And I have a couple little things I bought yesterday that I want to show you. And then once I've done a little bit more with them, I'll show you it again. Right now it's just the, excuse me, right now it's just the beginning I want to show you. So I made progress on 2 of my whips. My Rachel top is still being ignored, poor thing. I will be dragging that out for my Thanksgiving break, but for now I think I'll keep on with the 2 other whips that I have going. And I desperately want to cast on another project. But I will try not to start anything new, at least until I finish one of the 3 I have ongoing. So my first project is in my Fringe Supply field bag, and these are my toe-up sort of shorty, I'm calling them Christmassy socks. So I am following a pattern after all. I initially was not going to follow a pattern, but I'm using the Mash Up Magic toe-up socks. And it's just a sort of recipe for how to make a pair of toe-up socks 2 at a time, and how to get them to fit really well. I've done this pattern once before, many years ago, and several years ago, and I loved the fit of the socks. So I decided to make these again. It is compiled by Xenia Lavi. I'll put that down in the bottom here so you can see the name of the designer. But it's a nicely laid out pattern. So I had initially was just starting to use out of my 2 at a time sock knitting book, but that got me started. Shows me the basics of how to maneuver around the needles. This pattern gives me the basics for how long to do each section. So I've made some decent progress. I was at the marker here when you saw me last. So I've added several inches on here, and I'm probably only about an inch, half an inch away from the point where I'm going to start increasing for the gusset. This design will have a heel flap and gusset, like the typical top-down socks that I make, and I'm going to try to figure out how to and when to start the heel flap or the heel turn and then the heel flap using my alternate color of yarn, or my second skein of yarn. So that's where I am so far. As far as I'm concerned, they're Christmassy enough. And I will wear them. The pink is not so much Christmassy. This part does make me feel Christmassy. Especially the green. The green and the blue really makes me think Christmas. The pink, maybe not 100% Christmas, but close enough for me. So there they are. I'm using 2¼ millimeter needles, or US 1. And the yarn I'm using, give me a second, I'll grab it out of the bag, is this. So Rising Tide Fiber Co. And it is the Talbot Fingering in the colorway Tea Time Prep. And this is a fun, so I'm getting tangled up in here. This is a fun yarn sock set. Sock set yarn? Words. This is a fun set that I bought when I was at the Frederick Fiber Fest several weeks ago. And what you got in the set was a 50-gram skein of the main color and a 20-gram skein of the contrast color. So my hope is that it'll be just the right amount of yarn to make a pair of sort of shorty socks with contrasting toes, heels, and cuff, and the body of the sock in the main color. So that's why I opted to do them toe up and 2 at a time. So that way I'm pulling the yarn from opposite ends, one from the outside and the inside of the cake. And I'm doing the same for both the contrast and the main color. So once I'm finished with the foot and the heel turn, heel flap, and move up the leg, I will continue going as long as I have the main color left. And then I will do the cuffs, or I'll do it to a length that I'm happy with. So that is my first project. So I spent a fair bit of time on Sunday and Wednesday working on that, and then the rest of the week I spent working on my Twists and Turns shawl, and I'm still behind. At least I finished clue 2, and I'm getting closer to a quarter of the way through clue 3. Clue 3 looks deceptively like it's not a large clue. It takes a while to knit. We shall see. We shall see how long it actually takes me to finish this clue. So I'm hoping to get, once I'm done filming this afternoon, I'm hoping to get a lot of time later this afternoon and all evening to work on it. I didn't have as much time to work on it on Thursday night and Friday as I had hoped. The hubby and I went away to a campground, rented a cabin, and did an overnight on Thursday. It's only about a half-hour drive from where we live, so it was nice and quick and easy and close. So we went there, and all evening we spent just relaxing in front of a campfire. So was not going to do any knitting in the dark in front of a fire. An open fire. So I didn't get any knitting done Thursday night. I did some knitting on Friday morning when I got up earlier, so as I typically do. I also go to bed earlier. But I got some knitting done in the morning on Friday. And then we just sort of relaxed around the cabin most of the morning. It was raining, so we were going to go out wandering around, but not in the rain. So we spent the morning inside, did a bit of knitting and did a lot of yakking. And then we went and poked around in a bunch of shops for the rest of the day. And then I finally got some knitting done in the evening again. But I didn't get as much knitting done as I had hoped, but It's almost the story of my life lately, isn't it? So this is in another one of my fringe supply bags. I don't know what the name of this one is, but it's great for larger projects. So in here I have my Twists and Turns shawl. So this is the Westknits MKAL for 2022, and it's by Stephen West. I'll put a spoiler alert up for today, and then I think beyond, when I show it next week, I'll probably stop with doing the spoiler alerts because I think everybody has seen the pattern. And I had been so careful that I was really trying to avoid seeing any spoilers because I really did want this to be a surprise and not know what the final product was going to look like. So I was being careful scrolling through videos on YouTube. I was being careful when I was going through different threads and things on Ravelry, and I was trying to avoid seeing what clue, especially clue 3 and especially the finished part of clue 4. And then I was scrolling through Facebook, and I signed up, and I've joined several different knitting groups on Facebook, and scrolling through there one morning, bam, there's this big picture of the finished shawl. It's like, ah. So that was it. The cat was out of the bag, and surprise was over. Mystery was done. So I'm thinking it's more and more challenging to keep it a surprise. I think anyone that has any interest in this shawl has already seen what it looks like, or they weren't trying to keep it a surprise for this long. So anyway, long story short, too late with me talking, oh my goodness. So I'll put a spoiler alert up, and I'll let you know when it's safe to look back. So I'm going to pull out and show you the fabric now. And for this, I'm using Whole Super Soft in 3 colors. Good grief, 3 colors. The main color is Larkspur. The contrast color is Flannel Gray, and then the accent color is Opal. So it's like a tealy blue, a gray, a darkish gray, and a brighter light blue are my 3 colors I'm using. And I'm also using 3.25 millimeter needles, or US size 4, I think. So without further ado, I will show you what my shawl looks like right now and the progress I have on this. So I think when I saw you last week, I had finished half of clue 3. I think I was about 2/3 to 3/4 of the way through clue 3, clue 2. So I'd done one side, and I was partway through doing the second side, if I'm not mistaken. So since that time, I've finished clue 2, the second half of clue 2, and I've got about half of the first part of clue 3 done. There's 2 parts, a right and a left side of clue number 3. And then clue 4 has a whole bunch of other stuff. So without further ado, I'll put a spoiler alert and let you know when it's safe to come back and look. So 3, 2, 1, spoiler coming. So here is where I am with my Twists and Turns shawl right now. Let's show you the proper side of it. So clue number 1 is this chevron in my main color and my contrast color. Clue number 2 was this main color and the accent color, this wedge, and that's repeated on the other side, and then this cabled section. So when I saw you last, and I have to tidy up this little doodly-doo here. I just have to kind of take a spare thread and just kind of tack it down a little bit tidier. And then the second side, I'd finished the first wedge that I'd showed you. I completed the cable section on here, and now I've started clue number 3. Oh my goodness, if I can get untangled. Getting yarn everywhere. I will have to spend some time afterwards tidying up all my little loose ends and tails. Come on, let go. And this is how much I have done on clue number 3. So it's a little, oops, get this guy on the other side. So it's got this little ripple cable design happening. So this goes on, this is 1 repeat, the second repeat, and then we do 4.5 total. So I'm almost halfway done this first part. And for as few stitches as they are, this is slow going for me. It has twisted stitches and 1 by 1 little cable twists every second row, or a knit through the back loop every second row. Every row has a twist or knit or purl through the back loop. So I'm hoping that when I see you next week, clue 3 will be finished, and that's all there is to clue 3. It's going to be 2 long little tails going out either side, and then you do something to connect all of that for part of clue number 4. So that's where we're at right now. Slowly but surely I will get this shawl completed. A lot of other people are long since finished. Not me. I've got a long way to go. So if you're looking, or if you've been looking away and you don't want this spoiled, probably no one is doing that anymore, because everyone that has any interest in it has seen what it looks like, or they're not worried if it remains a surprise to them. So I'm still enjoying working on the shawl. Now that I have seen the finished shawl, I'm not 100% sure I'm in absolute love with it. I don't hate it, but I'm not sure I love it. We shall see once mine is finished and it's all done and it's soaked and blocked and dried and all of that good stuff. It's an interesting look once it's done. Just having some sparkling water, seltzer water. One of the few people that likes that stuff. Anyway, so that's the extent of my knitting for this week. It's a fair bit of knitting I have managed to do. I'm hoping that in the upcoming week I'm able to get a bunch more done, but we shall see. The week after that, or actually by Wednesday afternoon, this week coming up is the last week of classes before our Thanksgiving break here in the US, or at my campus. So our campus closes for the entire week during Thanksgiving. So the Monday to Friday, the week after next, there's no classes, none of the offices are open, everything's closed down. The gym is closed, library is closed, all that stuff, everything's closed. So the dining halls are open for resident students, but that's pretty much it. So the husband and I have booked a little getaway during Thanksgiving week, since we don't have any friends, we don't have any friends. That sounds sad and pathetic. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we don't have any friends. Oh, that didn't sound good. We don't have any family around here. So we don't have the big Thanksgiving time with family while we're down here. So sometimes we'll just do a little Thanksgiving. I got a fiber or something in my eye. So we'll typically either do a Thanksgiving meal for ourselves. We'll cook a small turkey and all the fixings and whatnot. Or sometimes we've been invited over to friends' places for the holiday. But this year we opted for, we thought, let's just go away for part of the week. So we were able to get sort of an Airbnb, kind of like an Airbnb, something through my husband's work that we were able to get. So we will be going down on Tuesday, up, it's north of us. It's about an hour's drive north of us, hour and 10 minutes north. So we'll go there on Tuesday the 22nd, we can check in, and we're going to come back home on Saturday, whatever the date is. I have no idea what the date is. So we're going to be there for several days. So I will be taking all of my knitting, all of it, all three, unless I've completely finished one of the 3 whips between now and then. And I plan on spending a goodly amount of time each day knitting. The goal of this whole trip is just to relax, recharge our batteries, relax, and enjoy some downtime for both of us. So neither one of us will have to worry about work. I will do a quick email check every morning for my work email and see if there's anything earth-shattering that I need to deal with. Otherwise, I'm not doing anything work related over the Thanksgiving. Pretty much, I might do the odd bit of research stuff, but a lot of my time will be spent relaxing and knitting and working on my whips. But in the meantime, I have classes to teach coming up this week and some grading to get done, some other school things to get done. And I also have, or correction, what also happens is that once I have finished my class Wednesday afternoon and all my grading is done, all my little loose ends are tied up, I am going to be unofficially on my Thanksgiving break. So I will be hitting into my whips big time, starting particularly on Thursday morning. And I will explain a lot of that in more detail in another video next week, or this week, later this week coming up. And I will take you along on my journey, our little getaway. So in the meantime, I'm not even sure where I was going with that tangent. Sorry. Anyway, so when we were away, we went camping. As I mentioned earlier, we went camping. We stayed in a cabin for an overnight, Thursday into Friday. And on Friday we went and did a little bit of shopping. And I picked up a couple things. It's knitting adjacent, sort of. I found 2 things. I'll show you one. I went to Tuesday morning and I have been looking for something to keep my Christmas socks in. So I've got a goal, and it might take me some time to finish this goal. I would like to have 25 pair of Christmas socks. Or some people, my holiday socks, festive socks, whatever anyone wants to call them. For me, the holidays, it's Christmas. So I want a box of Christmas socks. So my goal is to get 25 pair. And then that way, beginning 1st of December, all through Advent and then onto Christmas Day, I will wear a different pair of Christmas socks each day. And I want a box to house them all. And each year when I think of looking at the sale items after Christmas, I never find a box the right size, the right shape, the right anything. Or I forget to look until February and then they're long gone. So I bit the bullet yesterday and I got myself a box for my Christmas socks. It's empty right now. I will get it started. And I paid full price for it. It was $15. I've been trying to get one for several years and I never get the timing figured out to get one on sale. Because I love to get things on sale. So I am going to go rooting through my sock drawers, and I'm going to keep all of my Christmas socks in this box. And as I add more, so when I finish the pair I'm working on right now, they will go into the box. So I finally have a decorative box for my Christmas socks. So this is my box of Christmas socks. Box of Christmas socks box. Yeah, that's right. So I'm gonna load that up. So once I get once I get socks in there, I'll show you what it looks like once it's filled up. I'll probably won't get to that until maybe I'll add that in with the vlog style things I'm gonna start doing later this week for my Thanksgiving break. The other thing I got was a little mini box for my Halloween and autumn socks. Now this one I did get on sale. This was 70% off. I paid $4 and a little bit for it. Disadvantage, it has a magnetic flap on it, but there's no magnet in here. So it doesn't stick. I might, it has the bottom magnet, but not the lid magnet. So it kind of bugs me that it pokes out like that. So I think what I will do is I think I'm going to just glue a magnet onto the inside. A little magnetic piece or a magnetic little disc thing that I must have one kicking around the apartment somewhere. So in this one, and this is a smaller one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my Halloween and my autumn socks in here. So I have a couple pair, 2 or 3 pair, and they've all been worn this fall. So once I've washed them, they're going to be folded up and they're going to be tucked into the box. So those are my little knitting adjacent purchases that I had. They're cute. I like them. There were a couple other boxes, the small ones at Joann's, but they didn't quite scream autumn to me. This one with the pumpkins on it, this one screams autumn at me. So I will be using that for my Halloween and my my autumn socks. Mostly Halloween, because I do want to make a few more Halloween looking socks. And other than that, that's about all for this week. So as I mentioned, I will be starting on, probably the first video will come out on Wednesday. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start my Whip It Down week. So this is my Thanksgiving edition. I do a little video series I've done several years now. And I've done the video series several years. I do the Whip It Down week every Thanksgiving week. As an academic, we have a goodly part of that week off. And for the last 8-10 years, I've had the whole week off. So it gives me some free time to do some extra knitting where I don't have to worry about being in the office and being in the classroom and working on my work. So I will be starting that up next week on, I think the first video will come out on Wednesday. They'll each be short little ones. They'll be the vlog style. And then when we go on our getaway the following week, I will also, I'll take you along on that, and I will show you, I'll videotape and show you little bits and pieces. So the place we're staying, all kinds of stuff like that. I'll take you along with me. And other than that, I think that's about it. I do desperately want to cast on something new, but I'm going to try my best to behave. We'll see if that works. Alrighty, on that note, I shall let you go, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye now.